Strike! Tap! 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 Tap!
Hi there, this is Brent from Coinflip Studios. Today I'm going to go over the evolution of the katana blade slicing in our game. So when you think about the core philosophy of our game, we basically want to make a VR game where you feel like a badass ninja. One of the core components of being a badass ninja is slicing, and more specifically, the speed and precision of slicing with a katana blade. We wanted to make sure this motion felt not only realistic, but satisfying. To dive into this more, here's our lead engineer Steven, who details our approach to slicing and why we felt like it was so important to the game.
So when we were deciding what kind of game to build, the VR user interaction is super important to us because this is a new medium for most people that will be using this. So picking something that they can understand very quickly was critical. And so we settled on two swords because in VR, when you pick up two swords, you see them in your hand, you move your hand a little, the sword moves, that feedback cycle is basically instantaneous, and you learn the game in about 1 second just by picking up the swords and seeing that they move when you move. And so, going from there, we decided to build a ninja game and had a vision that this game will make you feel like a badass ninja. And so what do badass ninjas do? They chop enemies in half with their sword. They're so powerful. And so slicing enemies in half was one of the foundational pieces of what we wanted in our game. So we built that technology. Slicing was very important to our vision of the game. And we felt it was important to do true slicing. Like when you cut someone from the shoulder to the rib cage at this angle at like 31 degrees, they're going to split at that location. It's not going to be an approximation of, oh, they always split at the waist or they always split at the neck or the arm pops off. It is a true slice across the enemy's player's mesh. And that took some investment to build, but now that we've done it, it is super satisfying. And one thing that's so awesome about it is that this experience is something that is pretty unique to VR. In that you can pick up a sword, slash an enemy, and see them come apart just as you cut them. Yes, it's possible in a 2D game on your computer, but it'd be so hard to pull off.
So going back in time to the beginning of when we started this process, we started with a really simple slicing test using just a cube in Unity. Immediately, there was satisfaction in slicing and seeing the cube fall apart. This test really confirmed for us that 1, slicing is fun, and 2, it's such a natural motion that it comes easily for players. After that, we crafted a nice katana blade and started to work on slicing actual enemies, or on a more technical level, enemy meshes in Unity. The first iteration of this game involves slicing enemies in a certain direction. So we dedicated some time to calculate directional slicing and making accuracy, angle, and speed the 3 factors that are required for a slice to be successful. You can see here that the colliders and physics is not all figured out yet. As the game evolved, we realized that directional slicing was difficult to convey to the player without adding a bunch of artificial dots or arrows on the enemies. We instead decided to move into a direction of more realistic melee combat. Basically, the different enemy types would have different weak points that the player discovers on their own. This really frees up the player to concentrate on slicing in a strategic manner and actually looking at the visuals in the game instead of a bunch of arrows or bubbles. There were also a number of visual and audio effects that we added to enhance the feeling of slicing and hitting an enemy. We added a nice sword trail, some pretty sweet blood effects, and also a slow motion effect when you successfully eliminate an enemy. In terms of audio, we decided to add some nuance to the different types of slices that you land. Basically, a noticeable sound difference between a normal slice and a slice that goes through a weak or critical point of the opponent.
Strike!
In addition, we're adding some haptic feedback into the controller so that you can actually feel the slicing. We also realized that swinging the sword fast and hard created a more enjoyable experience. So we started to track the swing speed and tie it directly to the amount of damage that it deals to an enemy. You can see here that stronger swings registers a higher number. We're very confident that we've created a near perfect slicing experience. It just feels great. We're currently moving on to other weapons like claws, bow and arrow, and a blunt staff-like weapon. We're definitely going to be as rigorous as we can with the design of these weapons too, to make sure they feel great. Ninja Legends is slated to come out this spring to your favorite VR headsets. We're also hoping to launch on the much anticipated Oculus Quest.